Sanjeev and Plum. I am so glad to be here today and sharing this space with all of you who have joined us live this morning. As most of you are aware, you are here today to understand about digestive health. So we're going to be covering the topic of yoga for digestive health. Now, to just explain the event and how we are moving forward, the first half of our workshop is going to be a little talk, a little bit of understanding about what comprises the health of our digestive system, and then later on we're going to move into some yogic practices that you can incorporate in your daily routine in your life, so as to be able to improve your digestion. Yeah. Firstly, welcome everybody today for our workshop. We're going to get started with a very interesting quote that I would like to share. uh, is there any or is it okay? Should I continue?
Yeah, I
All right.
think yeah, you can continue.
All right. Okay. So talking about our topic today and sharing a quote that will help you understand a little bit more. If there's one thing to know about the human body, it's this. The human body has a ringmaster. This ringmaster controls your digestion, your immunity, your brain, your weight, your health, and even your happiness. This ringmaster is the gut. Yes. Today we've come to understand that the gut and the brain are very, very closely linked. This is something that even Ayurveda has been speaking for years, that all the diseases are linked to the gut. So if the gut health hasn't been taken care of well, we start to see it as a result in the body, in our external sources, in the form of diseases, ill health, disorders, and other poor conditions. So let us understand what comprises of good digestive health. When can you say that your digestive health is in a good situation, in a good state? It is when the body, the gut, can produce good digestive enzymes, that is your gut microbe, your gut bacteria. It can then absorb the nutrients from the food, and as a result, after absorption, it can also excrete and eliminate the toxins and unwanted substances. This cycle of the gut, this cycle that it follows, if this is taking place in a good manner, you can say that your digestion, your digestive health is good, safe, and sound. Now, also let's look at some signs that your digestion is working properly, which would be that you have your bowel movement, your excretion, that is passage of stools, taking place at regular or rather daily intervals. Yes, as per Ayurveda, also if we understand, your excretion and passage of stools must take place on a daily basis. If you start finding that getting sluggish, poor, or maybe you're missing few days in the week, it is something that you must take into notice, and that is not something that should be taken lightly. uh, when you have less frequency of gas, bloating issues, constipation, acid reflux, when you have less frequency of these, again you can say that your digestive health is in a good situation. Then looking at your appetite, when you have a good healthy appetite at regular intervals, one which is not making you feel hungry all the time, one which is not making you feel averse to certain foods, and you are able to eat a regular of meals, say about 3 meals, 4 meals in a day, you can say that your digestive health is in a good situation. Looking at also a few more things such as lesser allergic reactions to certain food items or food ingredients, lesser aversions. You realize that sometimes you hear about people getting lactose intolerant, gluten intolerant, and these are aversions that the body starts to show over a period of years. When this starts to happen is when you should also be looking at your digestive health. So these are again signs. And lastly, when your digestion is taking place, that is, when you eat your food, you're able to then be able to process well without feeling heavy, without feeling tight, and the body is feeling energetic. This is a sign that your digestive health is in a good state, right? So now let's understand, when you feel that your digestion is affected, you are frequently being affected by bloating issues, constipation, constantly having burps and releasing gas, etc. What can one do about it? It is very easy for us to turn to quick solutions. It's very easy for us to turn to supplements. Should I have more probiotics in my diet? Should I have more fermented foods in my diet? What is it that I should keep adding into my diet? But we don't realize that sometimes we complicate things a little too much for us. Instead of trying to constantly add more and more things in the form of solution, why not simplify? Sometimes maybe you don't need any extra additions. Maybe you just need simplifications. You may be required to release a few things from your diet or your daily routine. Now, we may want to constantly fall back onto quick solutions, right? This is a problem, here's a pill. This is a problem, here's a solution. But the actual effort, the work, lies in your daily lifestyle. It lies in your habits and the routine and the certain pattern that you have created of your life over these years, which, of course, understandably can be hard to break or hard to change. But till we don't have that awareness in our mind, it becomes difficult to actually get rid of our problems. Today, speaking of digestive health. And when we start to clean up these habits and clean up these patterns, it not only, of course, has a good impact on the gut and the digestion, but at the same time on every aspect of your health, physical, mental, emotional. So, Ayurveda speaks about something known as dinacharya. Now, dinacharya, if you break down the two words, dina means day, acharya means activity. So, the day's activity. What can be your ideal day? What can be your ideal activity? Now, we of course understand Ayurveda is coming from a time which is thousands of years old, and the lifestyle the humans lived then to now is, of course, drastically different. Today, in the modern lifestyle, it becomes so difficult to prioritize our health, and we have work hours and our career and ambitions that demand a lot more out of us. But keeping our modern lifestyle in mind, we can still incorporate a few changes. Though I understand it is difficult for all of us to wake up at Brahma Muhurat, which is before sunrise, but we can still keep in mind a healthy sleeping pattern. So when we speak about dinacharya, we want to see the time that you sleep, the time that you wake up, and the other activities as and when they follow. So the ideal time to wake up would be either before sunrise. And if that's really difficult because if your work is demanding and other responsibilities are too much, trying to wake up between 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning, which is considered very healthy. That is a good time in the morning to wake up. It's the Vata hour of the day, wherein you can put good use for exercise, for meditation, or for movement, or just sitting in the morning, enjoying the sunrise for contemplation. As you wake up in the morning at an early hour, then you must, after a few minutes have passed as you've woken up, it's considered very, very healthy for your bowels, for your digestive system to start your day with a glass or two of warm water. Now, because our body has been in a state of sleep and rest over the few hours before, to get the bowel system started, to begin your morning with a glass or two of warm water, which as a result gets your bowels to work, to function, which helps you with smooth excretion. So passing stools becomes easy. If you still find it difficult initially with just warm water, drinking warm water, taking first time for your oral hygiene. Now, Ayurveda considers oral hygiene a slightly more elaborate as an activity rather than just brushing your teeth. So, of course, along with brushing your teeth, it becomes important to keep in mind tongue scraping, jiva prakshalan. So, talking about tongue scraping, that activates your taste buds, helps you to produce better digestive enzymes, and it's said that even your nasal functioning and respiratory functioning becomes better when you keep in mind better oral hygiene. So, tongue scraping, maybe including oil pulling, maybe including practices of nasya. So incorporating a certain of these practices also becomes helpful to get your day started, to get your digestive health, a little bit of a kickstart. Then you move into your exercise, maybe going for a jog. After that period has passed, around 9 a.m. is a good time for fruit, for breakfast, then getting ready for work after bathing. And 10 to 12, 10 to 2 is a good pitta hour, wherein the fire element or the energy is the highest in the body. So keeping that in mind is a good time to get to office, to get to your professional responsibilities, to get to work. And around 12 to 1 would be a good time for digestion, that is lunch. So pitta is, or the fire element, the agni is the strongest at that time. So the digestion as a result of which is also strongest. So if you consume your lunch, you're the biggest meal of the day during 12 to 1, it helps you to digest your food well, as a result of which your entire day can go on very smoothly. Then moving into the rest of the day, coming into post lunch hours, it is recommended that we don't end up taking long naps, because if you go for long afternoon naps, those who have the leisure and luxury to do so, of course, can start making a person a little too lethargic. It starts to make you slow, sluggish. So if one is to take a little nap, not more than 20 minutes or so is advisable. Then as we move towards the end of the day, nearing sunset, is when it's time for you to wrap up with work, to wind up with work, and starting to, shut away your professional responsibilities and starting to bring the focus back to yourself. Between 6 to 7 p.m. is considered to be an ideal time for dinner, for the last meal of your day. And of course, understandably so, today, living in the modern lifestyle, it's not easy for all of us to follow such an early dinner time. But even though you may still want to choose to have an earlier time slot for dinner, wherein not keeping it to later than 8:30, maximum 9, because you would need 2 to 3 hours of interval before you go to sleep. Now, you may say, well, I sleep at 12 o'clock, I sleep at 1 a.m. But as and when we start getting later into the night, and when the sunset has happened, the digestive powers become weaker. So it is best to eat earlier so the digestion again remains strong. Because if you are sleeping with a lot of food in your body, undigested food in the body, that's when the digestive issues start to begin. That's when the gut functioning starts to become slower, and that impacts our overall health. And now, so also talking about this dinacharya that I just explained to you. One thing, if you realized, was that it follows the circadian rhythm, or which is known as the internal body clock, which is in synchronization with the nature's clock. It functions with the start of sunrise and ends with sunset. So, keeping this in mind is the healthiest way for us to have and conduct our daily routine and our daily lifestyle, right? So, moving into a few other concepts that I would like to just touch upon, not go into detail, would be ahar and vihar. Now, ahar and vihar, again, they're two of the pillars of yoga. There's ahar, vihar, achar, vichar. So in ahar, vihar, ahar being the food, but it's not just the food. It is how you eat, when you eat, and what you eat. These three questions are very important, right? So one is, what are you eating? What is it that you're putting on your plate? Are they freshly cooked meals? Are they food items that are sourced locally? Is it made by hand? Has it been pre-made for a week and kept in the freezer? Is it frozen food items? These are the questions you want to ask when you bring that food on your plate. It is, of course, important. And I believe all of us understand this, right? But it's not that we always follow. It is important for us to have our food as fresh as possible. So the level of prana is as high as it can be, so that that prana is consumed within the body, which impacts our digestion, which impacts our overall health. So, having foods with high prana, one that is locally sourced, it is not a very healthy habit to keep including imported food items, which have made basically hours and days of travel to come to you. As local as possible is the best way to consume. So, geographically, where you are situated, what is available around you in your city, in your town, in your village, in your country, is the best way to go about choosing what should come on your plate. Now, whether you choose to have a vegetarian diet and a non vegetarian diet, that can be a complete choice. Again, depending on where you live and how you've grown up, it is not about, continuous, about being a strict vegetarian or not including certain food items. It is about what you have traditionally grown up eating. So it's not about having a big no about non-vegetarian or meat consumption, but one thing can be kept in mind is about overindulgence, right? So keeping in mind that you are able to have a balanced diet, which include all of the different variety of ingredients and food groups of carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and not overdoing with one type of food item. Talking about when to eat. Naturally, as I also mentioned the dinacharya to you, having your food at regular intervals. Try not to either feed yourself all at once, or eating in a very scanty manner. So trying to have, well spaced out meals and maintaining the same time on a daily basis would be the most ideal for you to have. So if you have a certain time for breakfast, maintaining that lunch hours and dinner hours is the best way to make sure your body finds that rhythm. Because if it doesn't get the rhythm, naturally, the steps which are after consumption of food, that is assimilation, the digestive process, and excretion, naturally tend to get disturbed because it doesn't get the required number of hours that it needs for the digestive process to take place. Then talking about how to eat the food. Now, how to eat the food? Well, traditionally in Indian culture, we have grown up eating with our hands. Now, these five fingers that we have represent the Panch Mahabhuta, the five elements of nature. And hence it said when we combine these five elements, when we are taking the food, the rice, the dal, using the hand to grab the food and take it to the mouth, this connection from hand to mouth, this connection of the hand to the food to the mouth is so essential for a human to have good digestive health, right? So it's the sensory organs that take place first. It's your nose, you smell the food. It's your eyes, you see the food, you touch the food, then you taste the food. And all of these sensory activities in combination are so very responsible in how your digestive health can be improved, right? So these were a few things I would like to cover about ahar. And lastly, just touching upon vihar. So one, of course, the intake, the ingestion of food, but for you to have a good release and a good excretion after absorption is done and the unwanted, the toxins have to release, what one must do. You need to have Bihar covers exercise, the right kind of movement, covers rest, relaxation, sleep, and self-care. Without these, no matter the healthiest food, the most expensive food, and no matter what you eat, will not be applicable if you do not follow with the post, right? We need to be able to exercise, give our body the right required exercise and movement on a daily basis for all of this to take place, for the circulation to take place. We cannot be only eating and sitting and working and not having the right movement. So exercise, being able to sleep at correct hours. When sleep is erratic, it definitely affects your digestive process. And the next day gets very badly affected. So sleeping, resting, removing time for recreation, doing things that you like to do, following your hobbies, spending time with family and friends, giving yourself the required source of happiness that we get in oneness is very important, right? So taking care of yourself through these activities is very important for you to have a good lifestyle, as a result of which your digestive health is impacted, right? Now, we're going to lastly touch upon the topic of Agni, after which we're going to go into physical practice of yoga. So, talking about Agni, now Agni can be understood as a metaphoric concept. Now, just to tell you loosely, when we talk about yogic and Ayurvedic concepts, we need to understand a lot of it is based on the five elements of nature, the Panch Mahabhuta, right? Which include fire, water, so Agni, Jala, Vayu, that's wind, then there is space, and there is earth, right? Prithvi. So when we talk about these five elements of nature, we as human beings and every little living organism on this planet is comprised of these five elements of nature. Now, today, because we're talking about digestive health, today we're going to focus on Agni. And Agni, there are 13 types of Agni, but today we're going to speak about just one. That is the central digestive fire. Now, the central digestive fire, which is the Jatara Agni, right? This is what is responsible for all of these processes that we just spoke, right? Healthy gut, the digestion, the assimilation, etc., is carried out by this digestive Agni, that is the Jatara Agni. Now, this Agni can go into 3 to 4 states of being, right? It can be one very healthy, it can be affected, it can be weaker, it can be irregular. So there are 3 to 4 types in which I'm not going to go into detail, but 3 to 4 types of states of which it can be. So for us to find Sama Agni or the balanced state of Agni, it becomes important for us to follow a healthy dinacharya. So the Agni stays healthy. Because if the Agni gets affected, which is situated in the abdominal region, which also actually covers, metaphorically again, it has an energetic body, if you see, it starts at the mouth and ends at the anus. So it covers the point from where you ingest your food and from where you excrete your food. This entire stretch is what is governed by the Agni. And when the Agni is kept healthy, all of the organs situated between these 2 points can stay in a healthier state of being. So, getting started with now our physical practices, for which I would like you to have a mat put out if possible, or you could be doing it on a carpet. You could even be laying out a bed sheet or something on which you can sit, right? So we will just get started with some simple yogic practices. Anyone, everybody can do along. That is something that you can incorporate in your daily life as well. Yeah. So I'll give you a few seconds if you don't have your things laid out. So you can get to the mat and we will begin now in just about a minute or so. All right. Yes, you can take your time, lay out the mat, get comfortable sitting down. If you find it difficult to sit down on the ground in cross-legged position or any other way, you can choose to take a cushion under your hip to sit on. So you can add some height. Now, these practices that I will be showing you are best done in the morning. In the morning hours, preferably when you have woken up, you have kept some time out for yourself before you eat your breakfast, before you go for work. Right? It is that time when you wake up, you clear your bowels, drink your warm water, and then you sit for practice. Best done empty stomach of the day. Avoiding chai, avoiding any kind of snack before these practices. Okay, keep it for later. Now, what we're going to begin with are some of these breathing exercises, which you understand as kriyas as well, or pranayam, some of you may call it, but they're actually kriyas or cleansing techniques, which have a direct impact on the Agni, which we just spoke about. To maintain and generate a healthy Agni, we're going to learn some variations of Kapalabhati. Now, this is something maybe you've either seen or heard about, even if you've not practiced, right? Chances are you've probably been a little familiarized with Kapalabhati. Now, Kapalabhati is a breathing practice which involves active exhalation, wherein you are actively exhaling and the inhalation is happening very passively, right? It's a complete expulsion of breath. You're emptying and emptying. And this action, which is a little bit like a fanning action, right? When you fan fire, it becomes bigger, right? The fire grows. So imagine it that way conceptually. When you are expelling, creating that quick, rapid movement which is taking place in the abdomen, releasing, that starts to awaken the Agni or the fire. That is the reason it is best done in the morning, empty stomach. So you can have a day laid out for you, which starts off with. So how can Kapalbhati be done? Allow me to demonstrate this for you first, and then you can do it along with me. Now again, making sure you're sitting comfortably. Sitting on the floor is difficult. You can be doing this on a chair also, no problem. Your awareness should rest here first in the belly, right? Connecting to your navel, connecting to your belly first. Take a few easy breaths. No need to immediately go into it. Once you feel the connection has been restored with your abdomen, then you will go for a couple of slow exhalations. Mouth will be closed only from the nose. Right? So I was just showing you how it looks like or how it sounds. There is a sound to the exhalation. It is only happens to the nose, the mouth stays closed. And you are to mentally build that connection with the abdomen so as to isolate this part of the body. You don't want to shake your body, tighten, facial muscles should be relaxed. Very often, students I see are constantly moving the entire body and shaking so as to create this. No, you isolate just this region, body stays still. Before you get into the practice, let me quickly just touch upon the contraindications. When and who must not do. If you're on a menstruation, you avoid Kapalbhati, right? If you are having constant acidity, constant heartburn, acid reflux, high blood pressure, you avoid Kapalbhati, right? If you have other issues such as piles, hernia, in the lower extremities of the body, avoid Kapalbhati. All right, any kind of surgery in the belly, in the abdomen, of course, pregnancy, you avoid Kapalbhati, right? And this is best done in the early hours of the day when it is less hot. Right now, you will do it for practice, but ideally, when you're doing it on your own, early hours is the best time to do Kapalbhati. Best practice to be done during winters and monsoons when the Agni, as a result, because of the weather and season, is anyway dimmer and less active. Okay, so let's get comfortable. Let the hands be rested. You can just simply keep your palms open, or you can even close your fist and get your attention to the navel center, to your abdomen. Close your eyes and start connecting to this part of your body. Start to notice if the breath is moving freely here and there is no tension or tightness in the belly right now. Let there be a softness in the abdomen. And only once you feel well connected, you may start with a few simple strokes. Don't need to be too fast and do hundreds of them at once. Go for slow, simple strokes. And let's give it a break. Relax the breathing. Open up your fist. Keeping your eyes closed yet. And just observing how the body feels. How the breath starts to come back to a state of normalcy. Returning to natural breathing now. And then let us loosely hold the hands behind the back and going for a forward bend, you very slowly take the head down. Exhale. And inhale, slowly come back. Now let's understand a little bit more about Kapala. Now breaking down the two words, Kapala and Bhati. What does it mean? Kapal means the skull, the forehead, or the head region. Bhati means shining or beaming. Earlier, if you realized, I spoke about, if you remember, spoke about the connection of the gut and the brain, which has today come to be understood even by modern science that there's a very direct connection with the gut and the brain, right? If the gut is happy and healthy, so is the mind. And if the gut isn't happy, the mind isn't, and vice versa as well. If you're stressed, emotionally disturbed, it affects your digestion. So these two are so closely interlinked that the gut is even known as the second brain, right? So if you realize, we started with the practice of Kapalbhati with a full focus on your digestive system, on your abdomen. But in the name, you have Kapalbhati, skull, forehead, shining and beaming. You realize that the practice is for the gut, but the name is directly speaking about the mind and the brain, right? So it is that till you do not work on your digestive health, the mental state will be affected and vice versa, of course. So the practice of Kapalbhati is not only helping for the digestion, it is helping you to clear the toxins and the erratic thoughts, the disturbance, even from a frame of mind. When you regularly practice Kapalbhati, not only will you see a marked improvement and difference in your digestive health, you will also start to feel how light the mind is, how empty and relaxed the state of mind is. It's like a cathartic release. It's like a release from the body, a release, a mental release. Yes. So when we even spoke about Agni earlier, the Agni is not only responsible for digestive health, it as a result also improves cellular function, gives mental clarity, sharpness, and focus to the mind. As a result, helping me speak about the connection of the gut and yes, we're going to be doing one last round of Kapalbhati, couple of more strokes. Join me, let's do it together. Let's understand the technique well so that tomorrow morning you can wake up and get it, right? So we can go into Adi Mudra. You can take your thumbs in. Let's take the fingers rapid and have the hands extending towards the knees. Keep your awareness towards your belly, keeping the belly region soft. Body is relaxed, eyes are closed. When you feel ready, you may start with a few easy strokes. And relax, release, open up your fists, keeping the eyes closed, returning back to natural breathing. Observing the sensations all over your body, in the front of your trunk, the back of your trunk, checking how it feels in the abdomen, chest, in the head region. Notice the lightness that you may feel in the head, in the forehead. And then very slowly, let's take the hands behind the back. Once again, going for a forward bend. And inhale up. Right? Now, as you continue to be seated here, we're going to go for a few spinal movements to get the digestive system more started, churning, going for a few twists in here. So, sitting in cross-legged position, you may take the right hand up, breathe and inhale. And on exhale, start to twist the body. Breathing out, release. And slowly get your hand down to the opposite leg. And again, take an inhale, then exhale, turn, and breathe normal. Stay here until this. Slowly come back to the center. Let's do this on the other side. Inhale, raise your hand up, breathe, and let us exhale and twist. Slowly bring the hand towards the opposite leg. Take a breath and breathe out as you twist deeper. Then breathe normal again, hold it here. And then slowly release and come back. Okay, now we're going to go for another twist here. Stay in the seated posture, opening up your left leg and bringing your right leg to come in. As you go for Marichasana, allow the foot, the heel to come towards the hip and curling your toes in. Right? Make sure it's seated well. If you need a cushion under your hip to elevate yourself a bit, please do that. And then you're going to take the opposite hand. So if the right leg is bending, take the left arm up. Okay. Now you have two ways of getting into the twist. Either you exhale and hook your elbow against the thigh, or if you find it difficult to hook the elbow, then you take your hand back around the waist and hold it here, hugging the leg, say, curling your toes in, use the support of your back hand to twist deeper, and stay here in this. Yes? Let's hold it for a few easy breaths here. And then very slowly, inhale to come back. Let's switch. Straightening out your right leg, bending the left, pulling the leg in the go the same way, take the opposite hand up. So if my left leg is bending, I'm taking my right hand up. Inhale. Again, hooking the elbow or hugging the leg, supporting with the second hand behind you. Rotating. Let's hold here. And then very slowly inhale and come back up. Right now, from here we're going to move into Malasana, for which we'll come up in a standing position. Yes, so come up, let's come in the standing position. And Malasana is the full squat. Now, if we are having any kind of issues in the knees and the ankle joint, I will suggest you to not go fully down in the squat. You can then stay halfway. Those who are comfortable going down all the way can come down entirely into the squat. Now, let's check going for Malasana. Feet are open, toes are pointing out to the sides. We will then start to push the hip back. Very, very slowly come down into the squat. So I'm taking my hands here for support and slowly sitting back. Now, suppose you find that after a point you can't go down. You will then stay here with little hand support. Okay. If you want, you can add the stool. I'm using a yoga block. If you have a stool or something, you can take some hand support and sit in a squat. You would be here halfway. Those who can go all the way down, slowly, slowly come down into the full squat. And if you come down and you feel that your feet can't stay flat and you're on your toes, is also fine. Just don't do this if you're having any kind of knee problems, ankle problems. Okay, stay half. Let us just give it 5 breaths here first. Pull your spine up, nice and tall, joining palms. 4, 3, 2, 1, and press, release, come back up. Yes, slowly come back up. We go for round 2. Take a moment, breathe. Now, Malasana again is in the name. Mal Asana. Mal standing for toxins, dirt, unwanted substances that should be released from the body. So, doing Malasana is the best when you do it early in the morning. So, you wake up, spend some time walking around, taking in fresh air and sunlight. Then you drink a glass of warm water, after which coming into Malasana is very helpful, right? Because it starts to create the necessary circulation and pressure in your bowels, helping you with the process of excretion very well. So let's go again, opening up the feet. Start to sit your hips back. Don't have to go too wide, okay, between the legs. Slowly lowering the hands down and carefully see how much you are able to sit in. Okay, just stay halfway and hold if you can't come all the way. Those who can press the elbows out and press palms, straightening the spine. Let's remain here. 2 easy breaths in Malasana. Nice. And then very slowly again, press, release, come back in a standing position. Very nice. Come back up. Take again a moment here. Let the sensations wash away from the legs, those who find it intense. We're going to go for one last, the third round here in Malasana. Okay, let us sit back, getting the hands down very slowly and exhale to come back down into the squat. Breathe. Getting your elbows to push out and let's be tall up here in the spine. And then inhale, push, release, and come back. Right now, we come back up in a standing position and adding to a few dynamic movements. That is quick moving postures, wherein we're going to go for a twist, but in a slightly quicker pace. So I have my feet a bit apart. Hands can be either here or a little bit lower. We're going to go for rapid twisting. And as every twist that you take, you're going to exhale a little bit more actively. Inhalation will happen very organically. Just focus on the exhalation. And here you will start rolling your hand in front. Exhaling. Keep exhaling as you continue to twist, and the movement can be combined with the breath. Yes. Slowly release, come back into Tadasana. Take a second or two to relax here. Okay, as you could see, we were going for the rapid twisting with active exhalation, similar to the Kapalbhati breath that you did, which helps the gut and the abdominal organs to have a ringing effect. Yes, a constant ringing effect where you're twisting, churning, and gives it the necessary movement, provides it the circulation for the processes to take place better. Now, with the same breath, we're going to go for another movement. So, right now, you did the twisting, and then we can go into the side bending or lateral movement with the same breath. Watch me once. Right? So side bending, same active exhalation. Every time you bend, you exhale. All right? So check the distance, keep it comfortable. Hands by the sides. Shoulders can be rolled behind, maybe 2 to 3 times. And let's go. Starting side to side. Complete, come back and relax. Stay here in Tadasana, keep your eyes closed. Returning to natural breathing. All right, and we're going to move on into a standing twist here in Konasana. So I'm going to keep my feet a bit apart. Yes, you can see here, wide legs, parallel feet. So making sure that the toes are pointing forward. I'm going to get one hand down to the ground. If you find it difficult to reach the ground entirely, you can choose any kind of a prop at home. You can take a stack of books, a box, a small stool. I have a yoga block. I can always use something like that to just add height. Okay, if you find it difficult to reach. So I take my right hand up to inhale. Exhale, bringing the hand down to the center, pressing into the mat and twisting from the chest and shoulder. Exhale, rotate. Once you've twisted, then you may also open up your hand optionally and rotating from the trunk nicely. Get a good twist here. Hold it there. Then very slowly from there, change your hand. Bring the other hand down, press and twist. Then very slowly again, bring the hand back, press and twist. Continue. Then again, slowly bring it back and then again, come back, last round. Press, open, twist. Then again, come back, last time. Then slowly come back to the center. Get your hands on the waist and inhale to lift up. All right. So here we took the hand on the mat, pushed in for a twist. Now we're going to go in for a twist and a forward fold at the same time. So here I'm going to take my right hand, Going to the left leg, letting my hand come in here, both the hands reaching to the leg, twisting and folding here. So I'm going to get the body coming in close. Don't be forceful, just as much as you're comfortable. Hold your few breaths, come back to the center, lift up and again up, inhale, exhale, twist, hold the leg and folding. All right, let's do this together. Taking one arm up, my right hand goes up and I exhale, twist, take the hand to the left leg with both hands catch. Exhaling, pull, breathe normal and stay here. Then again, move away from the leg, get your hands on the waist, inhale, come up. Check again, open the arm, inhale, exhale, twist, and moving both hands, pulling in, hold. Again, inhale, open, hands on the waist, and slowly come back up. Again, breathe. We're going to repeat one more round of this. Inhale, open, and exhaling, get the hands on the waist, and pulling in. Then inhale, move away, get your hands on the waist, slowly come up. Breathe. Let's change the other hand. Up, inhale, exhale, twisting the hand to the leg and getting it in. Inhale, open, hands on the waist, slowly release and come back. Very nice. Take a moment here. Relax the body, relax the breath. All right, now check here from this position. Turn your feet in a V shape like this. We're doing the last standing posture, then we move down to the mat. You bend the knees here and going in the direction of the toes, coming in for a wide leg squat in Uttkata Konasana. So allow the knees to go out, releasing the tightness in the inner thighs and the groin, allowing the pelvis to sit in. Fingers pointing inward, I'm grabbing my thighs space, shoulders away. Let's hold it here first for 5 breaths. Checking the alignment here, check how the legs are placed. 4, 3, 2, 1, and push, release, standing back up. Inhale. We'll do this one more time, adding a little twist here. Ready? Let's go back. Inhale, exhale, come down. Take the hands on the inner thighs, elbows out, shoulders out, and let's twist one shoulder at a time. Yes. Twisting. Right to left, left to right. Right to left, left to right. Continue to twist without moving your hips, just the shoulders. Go last 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back. Then slowly come back. Breathe. Hands on the waist. Turn your feet in. Come back. Right? Come back into the center. Hold it with Tadasana. Now, just before we sit down on the mat, we'll just go for a little movement for the feet here. So going up on your toes, down and up on the heels. Keep moving toe to heels, heel to toes. Yes, activating the points of your feet, mobilizing your ankle, your knee joint. Okay, and then from here, you're going to come down in a kneeling position in Vajrasana. Yes, if you have knee and ankle issues, find it difficult to sit, you can skip this posture and sit normally in cross-leg position. Or else, you can also take a cushion to place under the hip if you require some height away from your feet. Okay, but if you can sit in Vajrasana, it is one of the most effective postures for digestion. So after you've had a meal, you have walked around a bit for a couple of seconds, a minute or two, then you come and sit in Vajrasana. It helps and aids in digestion quite almost immediately, right? Rather than sitting in any other posture, it is Vajrasana that helps us to keep the spine open, and enables the digestive process to take place the best. Okay, so those who can be in Vajrasana right now, please do so. And while you're here, we're going to go into the next posture, that is child's pose or Balasana. If you cannot sit in this, you can take normal cross-leg position. Okay, so in Vajrasana, sliding your hands forward, moving into child's pose. Then inhale, lift up, walk your hands back. When you're doing a posture like this after your meals, you're not in the forward fold. Then you just sit in. Okay, when you're doing it as a part of your early morning practice, then you will incorporate all of these movements. Okay, we're going to go again for child's pose. Once again, sliding your hands, breathe out and hold in. Rest your head down. Then inhale, come up, back in. Okay, now if you find it again too difficult to sit here, please move to a normal sitting posture. We're going to do one small practice in here known as the Mandukasana. Sitting in the same position or cross leg or even on a chair is fine. You're going to make two fists with the hands, thumb in and fingers wrapping, and taking it below the navel center, right? So just below the navel, you're going to place the fist. Now, how are we going to move through this? You're going to inhale through the nose, feeling the belly expand, the whole trunk expand, and then exhaling, you start to bend forward. So I keep exhaling, and I'm holding the body forward. As I have fully exhaled, I let my body be down. Hold for about 3, 4, 5 counts. Okay, as long or short as you're comfortable with. And then you will come up, then take your inhale, right? So you inhale, exhaling, go down. Stay down without any breath for 3 to 4 counts after emptying yourself out. Then you will come back to the top and take your. Yes, you will go for 3 rounds of this and notice how it feels when the fist will press into the abdomen. It is literally when you are pressing in and creating that emptying process. Okay, please don't do this if you've eaten something heavy. Has to only be done on an empty stomach. So placing the fist, knuckles are connecting towards your belly. Breathe through the nose, filling in the belly. Exhale, breathing out, breathing out, breathing out. Rest your head down. Hold here for 3 to 4 counts. Then bringing the body up, take your inhale. Breathe normal. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale and breathe fully. Exhaling, breathe out, breathe out. Keep moving the breath out and hold there without breath. Then come up, lift up and then take your inhale. Yes, shall we do this one last time? Inhale fully and exhaling. Breathe out, remove the breath and hold it there. Then lift your head up, coming back and take your inhale. Come back, release your fist, take a few seconds to relax. And then let us lie down on the back. Yes, coming down on the mat. All right, as you lie down on the mat, check here. We're going to take it first for Ardha Pavanuttasana. Grabbing on the leg, opening up your leg, right, pulling in. Exhale, taking the knee to chest. Holding here in Ardha Pavanuttasana, staying. And now exhale to lift your head up to the knee and hold it here. Then slowly take the head back down, right? Now we'll take the same right leg going in for a twist, rotating from the hip and you can open the opposite arm, Hold your twist. Staying. And then inhale to slowly come back in. All right, let's change. Taking the left knee into chest, open up the right leg, coming again into Ardha Pavanmuktasan, pull it in and stay. And exhaling, take the head up to the knee for 3, 2, 1, and slowly taking it back down. Let's take it for a twist here, moving the leg to the opposite side and hold. And then inhale to come back to the center. Take both the knees up into chest, coming into Pavan Muktasan here. So I take the hands hugging around the leg first, keep it in here. And exhaling, head towards the knee, hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly bring the head up. Take a breath, we'll repeat it. Yes, it's in the name. Pavan Muktasan. Pavan meaning wind, the wind element of gas, of floating. Mukta to free, to release. Yes, it helps you to release unnecessary, unwanted, gassy elements from the body. So again, inhale and exhale, hugging your arms around the legs tightly. Let's take the head up and hold it here. Then inhale to slowly come back down. Now continue keeping your knees, your feet joining. Open up your arms there. We're going to go in for the twist here. So just keeping the knees close to the ground. Exhale, twist for halfway, just about 2 inches from the ground. And inhale to come back. Try to keep your legs joining. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale, come back. Twist, exhale. Inhale, come back. All the breathing is only happening through the nose. Yes? Let's go. Twist and drop it to the side. Inhale, come back, exhale. Twist, come back. We go last round here. Inhale, exhale, and twist. Come back, change. Inhale, exhale, twist, and come back. Very nice. Now, once you finish with this, just open up your legs there and extending your arms overhead and pulling the body in 2 opposite directions for Yashtikasana. Lengthen up, lengthen down, and slowly bringing the hands down to the sides of your body. Okay, let's get comfortable and ready for Shavasana. We always end our practice with a resting lying posture. Very important to actually have a completion here. So let the body relax. Make sure you space out well. You can take one palm on the belly and one hand by the side. Yes, and we relax the body here. Keep the eyes closed. Feeling connected to the ground, resting on your mat. Watching how the body is relaxing, the head, neck, the spine, the hips. Keeping your legs relaxed well. Eyes are closed and the awareness stays within the body. As you have one palm resting on the belly, watch how the belly becomes soft. Watching the breath move into the belly. Staying here with the natural rhythm of the breath flowing through the abdomen, through the belly. Watch how this connection of the body and the breath is helping you to slow down, is helping you to relax, to fully rest here. Be completely still and unmoving. then gently moving your fingers and toes. Start to bend your knees. Rolling to your right side. And let us push. Come up in the seated position. Continue to sit up with closed eyes. And as you sit up, we'll go for 3 chants of Om together, joining palms in front of the chest. Take a long breath here. Slowly begin to rub your palms, cupping it to your eyes and all over your face. Gently open up your eyes. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great Sunday ahead. I hope you found this easy to follow and you have some practices that you can take back in your daily. Thank you so much for joining in. It was lovely being a part of this Sunday.
Thanks a ton, Nishtha, for doing this. Folks, please do fill the feedback form. Share it over the chat and let us know your feedback. I think we got a question. You want to take this
Yeah.
one, Nishtha?
Does ingestion for a long time can be a reason for hair fall? It's this one, right, Ketan? Or dark
Yeah.
spots on the skin? No, so Ketan, you cannot, I feel, directly point out indigestion as a result of connecting it to hair fall or dark spots on the skin. There can be many other factors that are playing a role for hair fall or spots on the skin. Because if you're talking about dark spots in the form of pigmentation, it is a completely different reasoning and it is not directly connected to indigestion. Yeah, so for hair fall, if you talk about it, it could also be the kind of food that you're intaking, if you're getting the right nutrition or not. At the same time, it can be mainly today's time, hair fall is connected to lifestyle issues and high stress. High pitta, so when the scalp continues to stay too hot as well, right? So the pitta aggravation in the body or heat aggravation in the body can also be the reason for hair fall. So it has to be evaluated properly. You cannot only connect it to indigestion. So the reason, Anita, we did forward bends today after Kapalbhati was because sometimes people feel lightheaded or a little dizzy because it's that active exhalation, right? And it can make a person feel a little lightheaded. That is the reason we do a forward fold so that the circulation feels complete in the body towards the head. So a person may not, feel unstable after the practice. Hence, we do forward bend. If you don't do it, also is okay.